Hello, this is Teri. Welcome to another recording of the Stars and Cars Chronicles by Amethyst Astro Tarot podcast and my YouTube channel Amethyst Astro Tarot as well. Today I will be talking about the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in Taurus. So, I think in to make a general introduction, first of all, we can look at some technical information, which I will be also looking from the internet that I can explain. So, it's like when Jupiter and Uranus, on average, Jupiter has a 1 year of cycle, and Uranus has 7 year of cycle. And when they come together, conjunction means that like they are meeting at the exact degree point in the same sign. So that's how they have this exact conjunction, we can say. So they are hand in hand, like it's unity. They are like for the same thing, doing it together in a way, being together. And in that sense, but together, when they come together, like when they meet, this tight meeting happens every 14 years. So in that sense, for a new cycle to start, it is good to look at what had happened before. For example, um, when we look at the last conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus, we can see that it was during 2010, and the last degrees of Pisces, and also in the 0 degree of Aries. They met, and in that sense, we can also consider what happened, where did they meet during this conjunction, and what was the impact of that. Because if we look at Jupiter Uranus conjunction in Taurus, that would be something that is for, I think, some of us far behind, because the last conjunction in Taurus was in 1941, and that was the height of the Second World War. So, and also the planetary aspects or the positions of other outer planets or the social or personal planets could be different. So it can even, though it can give a clue in terms of mundane, I think it would be hard to get a clue about this, about on individual levels, looking at the previous cycle of that. But individually, as I said, if we go back to 2010 and see where this unity happened between Jupiter and Uranus in our charts, which area of life has been impacted and what kind of effect it had on us. Maybe we can, as I said, the configuration of the sky would not be still the same, but we can still guess at least in which area of life, depending on the house of the Taurus and where it touches in our charts, we can understand. The exact point of the conjunction is 21 degrees 49 minutes Taurus. So in that sense, since Taurus is a fixed sign, we can expect that in terms of much hard aspects, it can have much impact on the other fixed signs, which are Scorpio, Leo, and Aquarius. If you have any placements in your natal chart around this certain degree, so you may pay attention. It doesn't need to be only the planets, it can be angles and everything, and you can understand what could be the impact regarding that. And it's also interesting to see that after this, in Taurus, the next conjunction will only happen in 2107. So it's quite a bit of, you know, later time. I mean, when I look at the other signs, I mean, it is there are more, I think, frequencies, but I think with the Taurus, it's really less frequent. Also, I mean, like looking at the 250 years time from 1900 until 2150, in certain signs like Capricorn, Scorpio, and Gemini, we don't see any Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, so it can be an interesting point to make. And I'm getting all this data, by the way, from AstroSeek, that they made a great job by showing all these planetary cycles. Having said that, like these are the all technical details, I can start sharing the um, the let's see where I have put it. Okay, here, sharing the chart of the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. It would be on 21st of April 2024 at 3:27 UK time, I mean, for us, and you can calculate according to that wherever you are placed in the world, and you can see when the conjunction will exactly happen, and try to understand like the impacts like that. Of course, the thing is that, I mean, when we look at Jupiter and Uranus, I mean, in terms of natal chart, what are their meanings? I mean, Uranus is like, about, it can be about innovation, eccentricity, originality, and sometimes like Chiron. I mean, it's also considered as um, maverick as well. I mean, so in that sense, I mean, we are looking at something more out of the norms, and also like more futuristic. I think it's like it's not something that is not traditional. It's not about tradition, and it's also, we can think that, I mean, like especially when you compare, like it's about, I think, more like uh, really future, and to, I mean, improve things in a maybe very original way and make the way out like that. And when we look at the Jupiter, of course, Jupiter can have also lots of expressions, in the sense that it can be growth, expansion. Also, it's the meaning that we can give to life. It's also about sometimes um, beliefs and the faith, philosophy, and the long journeys. And we can all consider these. Of course, don't they have any, I mean, much positive I mean, like explanations or symbolisms, like all the other planets, they do. I mean, especially, I mean, like, if we think about the mythology of these planets and everything, we can always find less positive. I mean, because Jupiter, for example, is sometimes associated with luck, good luck as well. And in that sense, I mean, but when we look at again the mythology, we can think that it's like Jupiter, Zeus, it's like the gods, and then when there is something, it's like too much expansion, sometimes exaggeration, arrogance, and everything can come with that. And Uranus can also can take things uh, upside down and turn the things around, especially when we think about them in terms of uh, transits. uh, Uranus is like sometimes can be considered like a wake up call, and like sometimes some opportunities come once in a lifetime. That's the famous thing, no? This solar eclipse once in a lifetime, and this, no, but it's true that sometimes it's like you get this chance, and Uranus can make that call. Of course, sometimes it's taking chances. No, you don't know. I mean, it can be risky or something like that, and you just like don't know what to do, and then that opportunity passes, and then that's gone forever. But in addition to this wake up call, there can be also this sudden changes or surprises or things like, I mean, I don't want to say like topple down, but upside down, but sometimes it's like things, yeah, things really may turn upside down, but that doesn't mean that it's like um, always for worse. I mean, sometimes things happen so that you can go to a better direction as well. So I think we have to consider it that way too. And with the, I mean, Jupiter, when we think about also Uranus, I mean, in modern astrology, I have to say that is associated with the astrology. In traditional astrology, Mercury is the planet that is associated with the uh, astrology, but in modern astrology, when where we can look at the outer planets and their roles as well, that doesn't mean that people practicing traditional astrology they are completely avoiding it. But Uranus is associated with astrology as well. And when we look at the at Taurus, um, it is more about both being fixed and earth sign. It's more about, you know, these structures, stability. But we have to also think about its meaning as uh, mundane part, which is can be land, agriculture, and also uh, we can think about food, which is in any case produced through the agriculture and everything. And also it's like I have mentioned, I think in the Taurus video, it's like about the voice. I mean, so I mean, in again mundane level, like when we say mundane, it's all about the worldly things, but it's not individual level, but more macro level. It can be about politics, it can be about cinema, it can be about music, it can be about cooking. You know, it's like anything about related with the things that we do, etc. So, I mean, Uranus in that sense can be about sometimes uprisal, you know, rising against the status quo and rebellions as well. And Jupiter can be about also freedom. So when I think all of these, I mean, I'm not a I'm not specialized in mundane astrology, so just based on my assignment that I have written last year, I can say that we can expect really some innovative improvements and uh, expansions in terms of food industry. And since I'm talking about voice, it can be maybe kind of voice technology, which can go with, I don't know, like we are doing like podcast, YouTube, etc. I think maybe there can be more digital or technological tools, devices can come out to make things to the other level, and it can be some kind of sudden changes as well. Of course, in terms of, I mean, like when we think about countries and considering the how the situation in the world is like that, it can be sometimes about claiming freedom, I mean, or rising up against certain powers for the freedom in your own land. It can be something like that, or it can be claiming, expanding your borders, and which could be a really sudden change for others. But it can be anything about that. I mean, so or but at the same time there is something like structural norm wise things with Taurus as well. It can be, it's like a sudden change of luck for something that could take the people to more stability and uh, for a better future as well. So always keeping the hope there. I mean, in that sense, that's the what I'm thinking. Of course, in individual levels, it's really important how it is interacting with our natal charts. I mean, like in a chart, like for example, if it's in an area related with our career or something like our vocation and everything, I mean, we can expect some, we can expect the unexpected developments, which can but lead to something that make us rooted. And since it's the beginning of a new cycle, maybe we may not see the impacts right away. I mean, or it can just happen that moment, or we can, I mean, like see the, I mean, seeds of that sudden changes happening in our lives. And then we can see maybe the much of the plants of that, I mean, like the blossoms or buds coming out, and in the following years as well. So since it's a 14-year cycle, and we can think in general like around, like in the moon, 8 phases or something like that, we can think about on average 1.5 years or 18 months or a bit more cycles that things start moving, or we can see the impact, start seeing the impacts of that in our lives. I mean, so it's really important for how it touches the individual chart. And also it's very interesting to see that the ruler of Taurus is Venus, and Venus is in Aries at the moment, as we can see, Venus and Aries. I mean, I think that first of all, Venus being in Aries gives to this earthy energy, some level of fire, some activation, and some kind of like push power in a way. And yeah, because Venus in Aries is like also can be about um, initiating things. I mean, like about our values, about our relationships, and about our sense of love and peace. So in that sense, it can be a really pushing energy in that sense. And it's really important in the sense that when we look at these 19 degrees, 40 minutes, um, it's nearly the same degree of the solar eclipse just happened on the 8th of April. I think it was around 19 degrees 22, 23 minutes. So it's there. So it's like, I think that was the new moon and starting some new things in our life. And I think that can be really considered in kind of consideration with this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, which is also the start of a new cycle, new beginnings, and new chapter for 14 years in a certain area of our lives, which can be really in a rooted, structured, maybe not a fast journey, considering that it's in Taurus. Maybe we may not see like pa 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 pa, like very fast, I mean, movement. But as I was explaining about Taurus, I think we may be really like going bit by bit, but in a very grounded and solid way. And in the end, the structure that could come out of that can be really impactful. I mean, can make a print in the world. So I think here the important thing with this cycle can be the key, can be patience, being patient. I mean, like I mean, with all the cycles starting, of course, I mean, everything new, we have to be patient. But here, I think the patience can really give some nice fruits in that sense. And also, we have a moon that is in Virgo in this chart that is in a very nice angle with, though it's very wide, but with Uranus. And when we look at Uranus and Jupiter, they are generally in good harmony with the Mars in Pisces, which is, as I have explained before, it's like the taking the courage to maybe share our feelings and taking our, I mean, emotional side out, or sometimes like also being brave enough to go and reflect on our emotions and everything in that sense. And sometimes it can be the case that like uh, having that drive or will to be more compassionate, to be more in a way more understanding and more giving to the other people. And I think that Jupiter and Uranus being in sextile, which is quite harmonious aspect, which may require some effort, but can come with a nice harmony. This can really give a nice start and nice calming energy to the start of the new Jupiter Uranus cycle. And looking at if I have any other, we can always see lots of other aspects, but I think the major one is like with the moon. And the moon, as I said, is the last degree of um, uh, the sign of Virgo, of course, which would be void, of course, moon. It would be in that sense, and it would be it's the last degree. There could be a lot of practical uh, security that comes out of practicality, analytical thinking, and everything. But it can, I don't know if with the void cycle starting can be considered in a way that things may not boost at the beginning, which can go in any case with the probably the Taurus energy. There is nothing in hurry with Taurus. There is taking things in a slow way, so it can be in line with that as well. I think that would be what I will be telling about the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. I generally tell the technical parts how it impacts in general, but it's always good to consider the fact that uh, when we are talking here, we don't see your whole life, which is, I mean, the beginning of your whole life, which is your natal chart. And to elaborate more, in any case, in my personal opinion, uh, would be not the best. Is always see things in person, talk in person, and then understand how these kind of transits impact you personally. So in that sense, whether for Jupiter Uranus conjunction or now the Taurus season is coming with time for especially Taurus Sun for solar return and yearly um, forecasting and everything, and also for anyone that is interested in astrology and would like to deep much more deep dive in their charts and understanding the impacts, you can always knock at my door, and I would be happy to provide you with a nice interpretation and also lovely chat, I would say. I think that's it. I hope that I'm in this cycle starts well for everyone, and it could be the start of a good period, both on individual level and on the mundane level, on the world mm, in general. I mean, Taurus, I mean, like before I wrap up, it's like can be sometimes it's like the stock exchange and finances. So we can always see some shaking grounds in that sense as well, but we never know on mundane level. Uh, so let's always hope for the best, not without sugarcoating, of course. I mean, it's not like oh, everything is wonderful, that the Jupiter is the luck of the year or something. I'm not there, or like fear mongering, oh, that's going to happen like this. It's not like that, but it's like keeping always the positive side, and keeping on the other side of our mind that things may not always turn out like that because of different aspects, different impacts, and everything. So just trying to understand the general picture, trying to see everything um, in a different way, but keeping in mind that nothing is at the end of the day set in stone. Uh, in the end, we are all human beings. We have our own inner dynamics, so things can happen sometimes in an unexpected way, in an unexpected time, but still hoping for the good. All the best. Bye bye.